In this anime, after the male protagonist awakens a special skill, the female students and teachers are insanely obsessed with him, thinking about how to have close physical contact with him every day. But this is not the most annoying for him, as he possesses a special identity. All the girls in this world want to have babies with him. Why does the male protagonist attract so many girls as soon as he shows up? It should start with a world called Geminar. There is an advanced weapon known as the Sacred Mechanoid in this world, and only a very few can control it. They are called Sacred Mechamaster. Most of them are females, and males with the potential to become Sacred Mechamasters are exceptionally rare. The Sacred Mechamaster's children have a chance of being a Sacred Mechamaster, so the nobles insist that they should only marry into noble families, and in this way the nobles can have powerful descendants. The male protagonist, Kenshi, is a male Sacred Mechamaster serving under Minister Babylon of the Stray Empire. He has just received a mission from Babylon to assassinate the newly appointed young queen of the Stray Empire, Lashera. As night falls, Kenshi takes control of his Sacred Mechanoid and charges towards the palace where Lashera is located. The palace's alarms ring out, and Chief Guard Gaia is the first to pilot her own Sacred Mechanoid to confront Kenshi in battle. Gaia is the most formidable warrior among Lashera's subordinates and believes she can easily defeat Kenshi. However, she is surprised to find that Kenshi is also powerful, leading to a prolonged stalemate in their battle. In fact, Kenshi is the bait that Babylon uses to lure Gaia. Babylon has taken the opportunity to arrange for his son Dagmir to manipulate Sacred Mechanoid to assassinate Lashera. In a critical moment, Lashera's Sacred Mechamaster Wahanli arrives in time with her Sacred Mechanoid to block Dagmir's attack. Wahanli is strong, and she hits Dagmir's Sacred Mechanoid hard in battle, causing Dagmir to anxiously call his companion to take him away. Dagmir uses a communication device to contact Kenshi on the way to escape. From their conversation, we learn that Kenshi is a transmigrationer from Earth who has been looking for a way to return to Earth. Kenshi has been promised by Babylon that if the plan to assassinate Lashera succeeds, he would be sent back to Earth by Dagmir. Now that Dagmir has escaped, Kenshi is left to assassinate Lashera alone. He tries to get rid of Gaia, only to be stopped by Wahanli. Surprisingly, Kenshi does not back off, facing a siege from two top Sacred Mechamasters and destroys Gaia and Wahanli's Sacred Mechanoid, at the cost of his Sacred Mechanoid being damaged as well. Kenshi decisively abandons his Sacred Mechanoid and rushes towards Lashera with a dagger, but he is knocked unconscious by Gaia, who arrives in time. Lashera intervenes to stop Gaia, who is planning to kill Kenshi. She aims to use Kenshi as bait to uncover the true culprit behind the assassination attempt on her life. Once Kenshi regains consciousness, she promptly interrogates him, but Kenshi remains tight-lipped. As a result, Lashera decides to imprison him in an aerial cage, hoping to lure his potential rescuers. In the midst of this, Gaia's sister, Mexia, learns of Lashera's danger and rushes to provide support. She is also a Sacred Mechamaster. Later, she learns of what happened from Lashera and sees Kenshi, after which she immediately develops feelings for him. Taking advantage of Lashera's distraction, Mexia sneaks into Kenshi's cell with the intention of spending the night with him, only to be forcefully taken away by the cell's guardian, Gaia. As soon as Mexia and Gaia leave the cell, Dagmir takes the opportunity to rescue Kenshi with his men. Dagmir learns that Kenshi fails to assassinate Lashera and intends to execute Kenshi on the spot as punishment. Dagmir confesses before doing it that there is no way to send people back to Earth, and Kenshi was deceived by Dagmir from the beginning. Enraged, Kenshi defeats Dagmir's men and tries to escape, only to be hunted down by Dagmir. Coincidentally, the Dark Elf Princess Aura drives a Sacred Mechanoid passing by, and she is studying at the nearby Holy Land Academy. Unsure of the identities of Dagmir and Kenshi, Aura captures Kenshi in her hands to prevent him from being killed by Dagmir and from escaping. At this time, Aura sees Gaia appear driving the Sacred Mechanoid, who turns out to have a bugging device on Kenshi. Aura learns Kenshi's identity during a conversation with Gaia and joins forces with Gaia to defeat Dagmir. Once again, Dagmir has to retreat. Gaia and Aura then take Kenshi to Lashera's palace. Lashera discovers that Kenshi has suddenly become seriously ill and has lost consciousness. Through Kenshi and Dagmir's conversation just now and Kenshi's symptoms, Lashera judges that Kenshi is suffering from a disease that only Earthlings would have. In this world, there are a small number of Earthlings. They are born to be extremely good Sacred Mechamasters, and they are competed for by various countries. Lashera has just ascended the throne and needs talents. She cures Kenshi with a magical potion and invites Kenshi to become her subordinate. Kenshi agrees. After all, he has no reason to be loyal to Dagmir anymore. Unfortunately, while Kenshi was by Dagmir's side, Dagmir and Babylon wore masks at all times. Therefore, he does not know who gave them orders. Lashera doesn't pay too much attention to the identities of the assassins. After all, she is about to enter the heavily guarded Sacred Land Academy of the Shreve Empire for her studies. In that secure environment, she doesn't need to worry about assassins. Lashera intends to have Kenshi serve as her bodyguard to accompany her to the Sacred Land Academy. She believes her bodyguard should be well groomed, so she arranges for her servants to clean and dress Kenshi. She has never seen a boy of her age taking a bath before, so with Gaia in tow, she secretly watches him bathing near the bathroom door. Just at that moment, Kenshi rushes out from the bath, causing Gaia to let out a scream. After this farce, Lashera takes her men to the Holy Land Academy. It is a school that specializes in training sacred mecha masters, and the students are almost all girls. They walk around the academy for a long time before they meet the first male student, whom Gaia has always had a crush on. But the poor girl doesn't know that this boy is Dagmir, the one who assassinated Lashera. After Dagmir, they meet Maria, the princess of the country of Havaniwa. Maria and Lashera are cousins who have a bad relationship and have to compare themselves when they meet. This time, they compare who wears the prettier dress and ask Kenshi, the only boy present, to be the judge. Kenshi is so upright that the most beautiful dress he rates belongs to Maria's guards, which makes both Maria and Lashera angry. After Lashera and Maria separate, Lashera tells Kenshi not to offend Maria and the nobles here. In this world, the male sacred mecha master will be arranged to marry the nobles and become a tool for having children. Since the nobles have intermarried with the sacred mecha master for many years, the Holy Land Academy is almost full of nobles from all countries, and any girl here may become Kenshi's future wife. Lashera also warns Kenshi not to reveal him as the sacred mecha master or he would be kidnapped. Kenshi is shocked that he cannot accept that his marriage would be arranged by the state. Fortunately, he is still 3 years away from adulthood, and there is still time to find a way to return to Earth. Kenshi wants to know enough nobles to inquire about ways to return to Earth. In order to cope with the expenses of social interaction, he decides to work in the academy to earn money. Through Lashera, Kenshi asks the principal for a job cleaning the dormitory. Kenshi is so productive that the principal often entrusts him with difficult tasks, but he can do them all. Gradually, Kenshi's reputation spreads among the academy's staff. Mexia, a teacher at the academy, hears about Kenshi's arrival and immediately seeks him out. In order to have close physical contact with him, she assigns him a task, which is to provide massages for the girls in the bathhouse. She leads Kenshi into a room and personally guides him through the process of learning massage techniques. Before long, Kenshi masters excellent massage skills, prompting a satisfied expression from Mexia. He enters the women's bathhouse under Mexia's arrangement, and the girls are very fond of the handsome Kenshi and do not resist his massage. Kenshi's technique is so good that all the girls he massages enjoy it. The girls gradually become addicted to this feeling, and some even fall in love with Kenshi. They pester Kenshi all day and ask him to massage them. Kenshi makes a lot of money, but his body is often in a state of exhaustion. Now, as soon as he sees the girls catching up, he wants to escape. The principal and school staff appreciate Kenshi's outstanding performance and feel that he is eligible to attend the academy even if he is not a sacred mecha master. The principal gives Kenshi a performance test, which shows that Kenshi has a high aptitude for learning. So the headmaster, with Lashera's consent, makes Kenshi officially one of the students of the academy. Since then, Kenshi has been able to take classes with other students, except for courses unique to sacred mecha master. Among the boys, only one named Ceres, like Kenshi, comes from a commoner background. Some noble boys look down on Kenshi and want to humiliate him. They arrange to meet him alone in an empty place during their swordsmanship class. With arrogance, the boys hold their wooden swords and launch attacks on Kenshi. Unexpectedly, Kenshi is born with extremely high physical fitness and effortlessly evades all their attacks. The boys end up falling to the ground, shocked by Kenshi's formidable strength. In the following days, the boys do not dare to make it hard for Kenshi anymore, and many of the girls in the academy have been pestering Kenshi. They all want Kenshi to be their husband, so Kenshi has to avoid them in the academy every day. It isn't until the holidays arrive and all the students are busy on vacation that Kenshi temporarily gets rid of the girls' entanglement. On this holiday, many students in Holy Land College travel to the country of Havaniwa, including Dagmir and Lashera. Kenshi follows Lashera on her way to the country of Havaniwa and meets Ceres. Kenshi rushes up to greet Ceres and bumps into Ceres and his girlfriend. Ceres panics because the male sacred mecha master are not allowed to free love. He confesses that he and his girlfriend have been in love for many years and do not want to be torn apart by the country, and asks Kenshi to keep the secret. Ceres' sincerity leads Kenshi to eventually agree to help him keep it a secret. The most dangerous thing for Ceres is not the exposure of the romance, but the fact that he is targeted by a gangster. The gangster is planning to kidnap two of the most valuable sacred mecha masters among the students, Ceres and Dagmir. The students are still oblivious to the lurking danger, celebrating their arrival in the country of Havaniwa. The queen's name is Flora, and she's known for her warmth. She hosts a grand welcome ceremony for the students in the resort area, following the customs of the country of Havaniwa. The welcoming ceremony involves a game. The rule of the game is that everyone wears bathrobes and then unties each other's belts. In the end, the person with their belts still tied wins. To enhance the participants' enthusiasm, Flora announces that the winner will be granted the freedom to marry of their own choice. Everyone present is attracted by Flora's reward. They concentrate and focus on undoing other people's belts. The best performer among the contestants is Kenshi, who undoes many girls' belts in a single sitting and eventually becomes the winner of the competition. Most of the people present thought that Kenshi is an ordinary person and would not be able to use this reward. Little do they know that Kenshi is a top-notch sacred mecha master. Kenshi feels tired and rests for the night and goes for a walk outside. Suddenly, he sees Ceres' girlfriend being chased by two gang members. Kenshi defeats the gang to save Ceres' girlfriend, learning that the gang is attacking the resort area with the aim of capturing Ceres and Dagmir, and Ceres has already been taken by them. Kenshi hurries back to the resort area and joins the other students in fending off the gang's attack. They discover that the gang leader is a sacred mecha master who has stolen the only sacred mechanoid in the resort, and now there is only one robot left in the resort that can be used to fight. Kenshi actively controls the robot to fight the gang leader, and in the process, he also saves Flora, who is attacked by the gang. Kenshi, with his great skill, actually gains the upper hand in battle. At this moment, the gang leader receives a signal, which indicates that her subordinates have captured Dagmir. Without delay, she flees with all her underlings, while Flora and the students are devising a plan to rescue Dagmir and Ceres. Dagmir is thinking of ways to save himself within the gang's camp. Maintaining his composure, he discreetly takes the gang leader's dagger and holds it against her neck. In an instant, the gang leader realizes that Dagmir is not an ordinary student. After negotiations, they eventually make a deal. Dagmir agrees to impregnate the gang leader and provide a substantial sum of money to the gang. In return, the gang will henceforth obey Dagmir's commands. Soon, Kenshi and his companions find the gang's camp. Under Dagmir's arrangement, the gang leaves Dagmir and Ceres to evacuate without much resistance. The students cheer for the victory, unaware that Dagmir has taken control of the entire gang. After the start of school, Dagmir arranges for gangsters to infiltrate the Holy Land Academy. He and his father Babylon's ultimate goal is to rule the world, and to do so, they must use the gang to obtain the mysterious weapon hidden in the Academy arena, the sacred Mechalord Gaia. In order to get Gaia to show up, Dagmir plans an excellent program of events, persuading the headmaster to hold a competitive event in the Academy's arena and show Gaia to inspire the contestants. The principal arranges for many students to organize the event, including Kenshi, who excels in his work. Kenshi meets Sacred Mechalord for the first time and is curious. He inquires and learns that the world had been destroyed by the misuse of Sacred Mechalord. Later, humans developed a new civilization and excavated the ruined Sacred Mechalord Gaia from ancient ruins. Humans in this era cannot use Gaia, and can only imitate many sacred mechanoids that are weaker than Gaia. Since then, Gaia has been placed in the Holy Land Academy as a symbol of an ancient civilization. Kenshi listens to stories about Gaia when Mexia shows up. Mexia hasn't seen Kenshi in a long time and is eager to be alone with Kenshi as soon as school starts. Mexia forcibly holds Kenshi in her room, asking him to stay there with her for a few days. Kenshi can't stand Mexia's tantalizing and finds an opportunity to slip out of Mexia's room. To his astonishment, he discovers that a group of gangsters have infiltrated the academy and are causing chaos among the students. Kenshi engages in battles throughout the premises, managing to drive away 2 gang members and rescue the Dark Elf Princess Aura. Through his conversation with Aura, he learns that it is Dagmir who leads the gang's attack on the academy. They have gained control over most of the sacred mechanoids within the academy, making it difficult for the people in the academy to resist their assault. Furthermore, a spaceship is floating in the sky above the academy, with Dagmir's father, Babylon, directing the battle from within. Kenshi realizes that he has to find a sacred mechanoid in order to counter Dagmir. At the same time, the invasion of the Holy Land Academy by Babylon and Dagmir causes discontent in many countries. Flora, queen of the country of Havaniwa, is the first to warn Babylon, but Babylon ignores her. Flora is furious and immediately sends people to the academy to attack the spaceship. While Flora and Babylon are fighting, Kenshi finds a sacred mechanoid that Dagmir misses. The sacred mechanoid changes shape according to the characteristics of the sacred mechamaster, and when Kenshi enters the sacred mechanoid, it immediately becomes Kenshi's favorite look. Kenshi soon gets into a battle, operating the sacred mechanoid against the enemies. The people in the academy nervously watch the battle as they evacuate, almost all of them surprised that Kenshi is the sacred mechamaster. Even more surprisingly, Kenshi crushes a sacred mechanoid with just one hand. Kenshi then defeats all his enemies in just a short time. Even Dagmir's sacred mechanoid is destroyed by Kenshi, and Dagmir flees with his men. Just as everyone in the academy breathes a sigh of relief, they suddenly notice that Mexia has appeared next to Babylon. Babylon proudly states that Mexia is actually his subordinate, a cyborg excavated from ancient ruins, and only she can use Gaia. Miraculously, as soon as Babylon finishes speaking, Mexia turns into a girl with green hair. She is another personality of Mexia, named Doll. Under Babylon's orders, Doll takes control of Gaia and displays incredible power. In front of Gaia, even Kenshi looks very weak. Fortunately, due to sharing memories with Mexia, Doll can't bring herself to kill Kenshi. Meanwhile, everyone within the academy has evacuated to a massive spaceship, intending to leave the Holy Land Academy. Flora remotely commands her subordinates to launch an artillery strike on the arena. She precisely adjusts the angle of the shelling, so that it will inflict damage on Gaia while generating a powerful impact to propel Kenshi onto the spaceship. Gaia suffers severe damage and is incapacitated temporarily, providing everyone with a moment of safety. Now the saddest person on the ship is Gaia, and her favorite Dagmir and her sister Mexia have become her enemies. Gaia endures her grief and offers to ask her father, Noah, about Mexia. Lashera objects, arguing that it would be better for them to take refuge in the country of Havaniwa first, because according to intelligence, Babylon has taken control of the entire Strayu Empire. Lashera directs the spaceship to the capital of the country of Havaniwa, which is in ruins, and Lashera realizes that she can no longer contact Flora. At this moment, there is a huge machine patrolling the sky. This machine is controlled by the gang. The gangsters begin to attack the spaceship as soon as they see it. Lashera quickly instructs her companions to flee into a huge underground cave and sees that there is an underground city where the nobles of the country of Havaniwa are hiding. Flora's daughter, Maria, appears and receives everyone on board. Flora rushes out and hugs Kenshi excitedly, knowing that Kenshi is a sacred mecha master. She has always wanted Kenshi to be her husband. Flora's fooling around is stopped by Maria in time. She calms down and calls a meeting of all the nobles present. They analyze the current situation in the meeting. Babylon has regained Gaia's ability to move, and he is attacking everywhere around the world with Gaia's powers. Apparently, Babylon's purpose is to rule the whole world. Flora points out that Kenshi is the only sacred mecha master among many who has the capability to fight against Gaia. At present, Lashera has lost control over the Strayu Empire, rendering Kenshi's allegiance to Lashera meaningless. Flora's proposal garners agreement from the majority, and even if Lashera opposes it, it will hold no significance. Ultimately, they decide to determine Kenshi's ownership at tomorrow's meeting. Lashera cries to Kenshi after the meeting that she has now lost almost everything. Her only hope is Kenshi, and she doesn't want Kenshi to leave her. Kenshi knows that if Lashera hadn't forgiven his crimes, he wouldn't have had a chance to show strength. Kenshi decides to reciprocate Lashera and makes a deal with her. At the meeting the next day, they announce the agreement that Kenshi would buy the spaceship from Lashera, use it as a territory, and form an alliance with Lashera. Everyone present endorses Kenshi's decision. From then on, Kenshi becomes the king, free from others' control. After discussing with the nobles, he determines his future goal. They all feel that they have to get the more advanced sacred mechanoid to have a chance to compete with Gaia. At present, the most technologically advanced place in the world is the city where Gaia's father, Noah, is located. As soon as the meeting is over, Kenshi takes his companions on the spaceship to Noah's city. After a thorough exchange of information with Noah, they get the latest sacred mechanoid provided by him, which is a unit with capabilities almost on par with Sacred Mechalord. They also learn the secrets about Mexia and Gaia from Noah. In ancient times, the mightiest Sacred Mechalord, Gaia, went out of control, nearly bringing about global devastation. Fortunately, during that era, 3 cyborgs superior to even Sacred Mecha Masters fought against the Sacred Mechalord, ultimately defeating Gaia at the cost of 1 cyborg's life. Subsequently, after humanity lost the threat of Gaia, as a measure against cyborgs, they erased the memories of a cyborg named Doll, sealing her together with Gaia. It wasn't until the seal was broken after thousands of years that Noah and his brother Babylon discovered Gaia and Doll. Babylon controlled Doll's core and entrusted her care to Noah. Henceforth, Doll was named Mexia by Noah. She possesses dual personalities, and can transform her appearance according to the different personalities. Just as Noah is about to reveal the whereabouts of the remaining cyborg, Doll appears in Gaia and captures Noah. Even though Kenshi drives the new sacred mechanoid, he can't stop Doll from leaving. He decides to find a way to improve his strength as soon as possible. Kenshi thinks that he has never broken through Gaia's defenses and plans to build a new weapon. Kenshi wants to use a special ability of Sacred Mechanoid to create weapons, which is that Sacred Mechanoid can compress huge objects into small ones to increase the strength of objects. Kenshi hears that there is a huge sacred stone nearby, containing strange energy. He immediately takes his companions to the sacred stone and compresses it into the shape of a sword. At this time, Babylon's men drive several sacred mechanoids to attack Kenshi. Kenshi's companions stand up to fight the enemy, giving Kenshi plenty of time to compress the sacred stone. Under the cover of his companions, Kenshi finally crafts his new weapon, the stone sword. He swings his stone sword vigorously once, and all the enemy's sacred mechanoids are destroyed. Now, Kenshi has plenty of confidence in his strength. He is about to fight Doll desperately when he falls ill. While he is resting alone in his room, Mexia sneaks into his room. Mexia tells Kenshi that both she and Doll are loyal to Babylon, but are unwilling to hurt Kenshi, and can only find a way to make Kenshi Babylon's subordinate. They capture Na for this purpose in order to discuss with him the relationship between the last cyborg and Kenshi. They conclude that the last cyborg is on Earth and Kenshi is her child. The reason is simple. Only offspring of Earthlings and cyborgs can possess such a talent as Kenshi. Additionally, cyborgs cannot be hostile toward each other, which is why Doll is reluctant to kill Kenshi. If Kenshi attempts to defeat Doll, he will fall ill. Being a cyborg's child means that Babylon can control Kenshi using methods that control cyborgs. Mexia unleashes a projection of Babylon, attempting to manipulate Kenshi. Indeed, Babylon's methods prove effective, but fortunately, Kenshi resists Babylon's control with unwavering willpower. Mexia's plan fails, and she has no choice but to retreat. Babylon completely abandons his plan to control Kenshi, and he decides to use Gaia to conquer the world. Meanwhile, Kenshi has recovered. He immediately gathers his companions and launches an attack on the fortress where Babylon lives at. Dagmir takes the lead in manipulating the sacred mechanoid in front of Kenshi. Dagmir's real purpose is not to stop Kenshi, but to stall for time, because Babylon can soon fix Gaia completely. Dagmir's sacred mechanoid is quickly cut in half by Kenshi, but his purpose is also achieved. Gaia has returned to her peak state and has the power to destroy the world. Babylon fuses himself with Gaia, replacing Doll and gaining control of Gaia. He thinks he now has invincible power to conquer the world. Babylon's confidence makes sense, and when he fights Kenshi, he recovers immediately no matter what kind of injury he suffers. Kenshi can only cautiously dodge Gaia's strong attacks, not daring to take any damage. Kenshi and his companions converge all their energy onto Kenshi, attempting to unleash the strongest strike to defeat Gaia. Unexpectedly, despite Gaia being severely damaged, she manages to recover in a matter of seconds. At this time, something miraculous occurs. The energy gathered by Kenshi and his companions moments ago triggers the inner energy of the stone sword, causing it to transform into a lightsaber. Kenshi swings it and astonishingly destroys Gaia's core, decisively defeating Babylon. Kenshi leaves the sacred mechanoid and cradles Doll in his arms. Doll reverts to her appearance as Mexia and affectionately kisses him. At this moment, something strange occurs. Babylon unexpectedly transforms into a pool of black water and flees away. As the battle ends, the world finally returns to peace. Now, what bothers Kenshi the most is not where Babylon has fled, but the fact that all the girls in the world are eager to marry him, including Flora. Kenshi is flustered and doesn't know what to do. Left with no other choice, he can only choose to escape. But where can he possibly escape? The story ends here. In this anime, there are two queens. One is Lashera, who became a queen at the age of 12. She exudes remarkable poise and knows how to turn enemies into allies. The other is Flora. She is intelligent and shows great perception, along with a knack for strategy, always standing strong in unbeatable positions. Which one of them do you prefer? Comment below to tell me. Well, today's video ends here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!